The world is going through a huge crisis because of the massive rise in the planet's temperatures. Because of this big increase, a lot of living creatures have gone extinct, and millions of fish have died due to bacteria spreading from the melting polar ice. Right now, the world is in a really tough spot, and this situation is expected to last for decades. Many countries are struggling with food shortages, so they had to adapt to the crisis to help their people survive. One of the countries that adapted and isolated itself from others to survive is Thailand, which still has some resources and food, but not a lot. Right now we see two guys in a car, and the car is loaded with food that needs to be delivered to the city. The young guy's name is Singh and he's with his boss. They're sitting and talking and Singh tells his boss that he's thinking about quitting the job. The boss is surprised and asks if he's going back to his old boxing career or the legal racing thing again. Singh explains that his wife Rin wants them to move out of the city completely because she's worried about how dangerous his job is. After that, they keep heading toward the city but end up stuck on a dead-end road, so they get out of the car. Quickly, because he knows it's a trap to steal his food, he gets out of the car and hides. As soon as the thieves come to the car, Sanj attacks them using his top-notch boxing skills, hitting them one after another. But unfortunately, one of them stabs him in the face with a knife. Sanj goes crazy, can't see straight, and starts grabbing and beating them all up. Meanwhile, the gang leader takes advantage of Sanj being busy with his men, opens the car trunk and gets really happy when he sees what's inside. But his happiness doesn't last long because Sanj's boss comes down, hits him and shuts the trunk. Then they all get in the car together and drive off. After a while the food arrives. Boric is arguing with the manager right now because the food box got broken due to the way things went down. The manager apologizes, but Boric throws money in his face and hands him a food box from the ones in the car. The manager opens the box and finds a fish inside, so he realizes what's going on and says, "I'll grab a knife and we'll split it." But Singh is really surprised by the look of the fish and the kind of grains on it, though he doesn't say anything about it. Boric had gathered some important people and told them, "Mr. Faso is busy, but he asked me to meet with you. As you know, Faso helped everyone deal with the food shortage by selling and buying his insects. In other words, my friend, he was providing people with bugs to eat so they wouldn't starve. Now Boric gathered these folks to let them know that from today, life is going to change completely. Mr. Faso managed to create a new species of fish, and it's really high quality." Then he started eating it right in front of everyone and told them that Faso wants them to be part of this project. Of course, everyone agreed on the spot. And then the other guys started eating the fish too. At that point everything was going perfectly fine until suddenly Boric started bleeding from his mouth. Everyone who ate that fish at the same time did too. Meanwhile, my friend Singh had already gone back home and his wife Rin was waiting for him. As soon as she saw the wound on his face, she got really worried and started cleaning it. She then told him to stop doing that job because it's harmful and he always gets hurt from it. He tried to brush it off and told her he had quit, but she didn't believe him since he always says that. Singh apologized to her and she said, "Fine," letting him know she was leaving now. She works at the hospital because she's a friend, by the way, she's a doctor. Usually the car comes to pick her up right from her house, and she rides with her friend and her son, Batty. She keeps chatting with them until they reach the hospital. And man, the hospital was literally packed with patients because of all the pollution spreading around the world. Anyway, Rin starts her shift and begins calling patients to check on them with Batty by her side. When she finishes, she tells him she's heading to the operating room, leaves him and walks off to get ready. At that moment, the manager comes to her and tells her that another doctor will be doing the surgery and asks her to go with him, Rin. She gets really upset, but overall she goes with him. There she meets Mr. Faso, who is sitting with his wife who's been in a coma for about 5 or 6 years. But Faso hasn't lost hope that she'll wake up, and most of the time he's always with her at the hospital. Right now he starts talking with Rin and her boss shows them his artificial fish liver that he made. He tells them he feels like if his wife eats it, she'll get better. At that moment, Rin tells him they're not sure if the fish liver can actually heal his wife. Faso replies, "Of course, I wouldn't give my wife anything that would harm her. Just let me treat her this time, I'm serious." She argues with him but lets him do whatever makes him comfortable. At the same time, in one of the hospital's operating rooms, we see Boric writhing in pain and screaming because of what happened with the fish. His body is literally filled with some strange virus, man. The doctors are trying to save him, but Boric keeps bleeding heavily from his mouth. The doctors get nervous and start performing CPR, but his body shakes violently and he keeps bleeding until he literally stops breathing and dies. After a while his eyes turn black and he turns into a zombie, attacking the doctor next to him. Meanwhile, Rinka just graduated along with the director. It was from Faso, and when they got out they heard screaming. They were shocked to see Porsche running after the doctor, knocking her down and biting her like a madman, literally like a scene from a movie. What happened started to get known and spread more and more. Singh was sitting at home, listening to the news talking about the emergency situation at the hospital. He heard the announcer warning everyone not to enter the hospital area. Singh got really scared, jumped on his motorcycle and headed to his wife, Rin. After a while he actually arrived at the hospital, and there it was super crowded with everyone worried about their loved ones. The people trapped inside the hospital were terrified when a zombie suddenly fell from the roof. One of the special forces guys went to check on her, but the woman being a zombie attacked him and bit his neck. He ended up killing her though. The problem was by that time the hospital had literally filled up with zombies, and a bunch of them started attacking the special forces. As for the patients who hadn't turned into zombies yet, they tried to escape. But the special forces opened fire on them and ordered them to go back inside the hospital against their will. They were obviously scared, thinking it'd be better if they'd already caught the zombie virus so they wouldn't have to face this mess. So the patients, my friend, have to go back to the hospital again, and by the way, Singh can actually get in with them. He keeps searching for his wife like a madman. The sad part is at that time Riem was hiding in a room with her manager, and the problem was he was injured and couldn't move at all. So Riem reassures him, tells him she's going to leave now to look for help and then come back. She actually leaves him and heads for the door to get out, but then she hears a thump coming from the manager's room. She rushes back and is terrified when she sees he's turned into a zombie and is now eating someone else's body. Of course, she screams and then she's running and he keeps chasing her, but she manages to get out of the room quickly. As she steps out, she hears Soon calling her on the walkie-talkie. She rushes to answer, but unfortunately the power goes out in the entire hospital, so Soon can't hear her. He freaks out but starts looking for her himself. While walking, he runs into a zombie in a hallway. He uses his boxing skills like we know, but the zombie isn't affected at all. Then the zombie grabs him with some kind of wire, slams him onto metal, pins him to the ground and leaves him there. The point here is, while he's walking before running into a huge number of the zombie kept hitting them one after another and just kept going like it was its way. Until suddenly Batty heard a voice shouting and calling for help because a zombie was running after him. Batty, scared, went to hide behind the bed, but the zombie kept getting closer. Just before it attacked, Singh came and pulled the zombie far away from him. Then Batty, seeing this, told him, hit the zombie in the head because that's where the control center of its whole body is. Singh listened and hit the zombie in the head, which basically finished them all off. After that, Batty asked Singh if he knew where his wife Rin was, and Singh told him, yeah, she's my mom's friend, and if we find my mom, we'll definitely find Rin 100%. Sanjua tells him okay and asks him to show the way, so they both start walking together. They actually walk together until Batty gets him to his mom's office. There they find out that his mom and Rin work on the 5th floor, so they leave the office to go there, but as soon as they step out, a group of zombies attacks them. They both run away and hide in another room where they find a guy sitting really sad next to a sick man's dad. This guy looks completely hopeless, thinking no one's coming to save them, and he takes. Right now, he's injecting himself and basically killing himself, then lying next to his dad just waiting to die. Of course, Buddy's really upset by this scene and totally shocked when he sees the zombies break down the door and start eating that guy and his dad. Buddy was so stunned he couldn't move, but when he saw the zombies coming for him, he started running after Singh to try and escape. Because he was so scared and trembling, his bag got stuck while he was running and the zombies were closing in, almost grabbing him. So now he's screaming until Singh shows up and saves him. After that, they kept moving forward just like that, until they reached the 5th floor where they managed to meet Buddy's mom. She looked really exhausted, and by the way, Singh noticed she was hurt but didn't say anything. He just let her hold her son and check on him first, but she knew she was about to turn any second, so she started crying. Later she talked to Singh and told him that his wife Riem was on the 10th floor. She asked him to take her son away and keep him safe. Then he kept crying and refused to leave his mom, wanting to stay with her. Singh took the boy and left with difficulty. As soon as they got out of the room, the boy tried to go back but was shocked to see his mom had already turned into a zombie. He kept crying and screaming, and because of his screams, the zombie blood started to come after them. He shouted, grabbed his gun, threw it over his shoulder and took off running. He kept shooting any zombie that came his way. Meanwhile, Renee was in the hospital's control room seeing zombies everywhere. She felt really upset about what was happening in the hospital and all over town. She just sat there for a bit until she realized that Vaso's room was the only safe place, so she decided to go to him. She left the control room and somehow made her way to Vaso's room. She kept knocking on the door, wanting him to open it quickly. Vaso was honestly scared and hoped she wasn't hurt, but he opened the door fast and let her in, relieved that she was okay. She's not seriously hurt, so he tries to calm her down and tells her he's talked to the officials and they'll get them out of here very soon. She gets really happy and feels relieved. After that, he goes to sit next to his wife and gets really upset when he sees her blood bag is almost empty. He tells Rin that he saved the whole country but can't save his wife who's in critical condition. He starts to panic and asks Rin to go get another blood bag for his wife to replace the one that's almost gone. Rin is surprised because the situation is serious, but Fairs pushes her so she agrees. At the same time, outside the hospital, we see the officials gathered trying to figure out how to solve the disaster happening inside, but honestly they have no idea what to do. So what exactly are they supposed to do? How do they get rid of the zombies? Their leader told them the city's population is about 5 million, and right now there are around 500 people in the hospital. Honestly, the best solution for us was to blow up the hospital with everyone inside instead of letting those 500 people leave, because then the virus would spread across the city, and it wouldn't be long before it spreads worldwide. At that moment, everyone agreed to sacrifice the 500 rather than risk everyone dying. Now they're asking them to first get Fozzie and his wife out of the hospital by any means possible, then blow it up whenever they want. So based on that, the special forces are moving in on the hospital from. Their planes started planting bombs all over the hospital. These bombs were set to explode exactly after half an hour, but they had to get Fosso and his wife out before that. That's why my special forces friends spread quickly throughout the hospital with their weapons, fully committed to what was happening. Singh and Body had reached the 10th floor where Rin was. When Singh got there, he literally freaked out because his wife's chain was lying on the ground. He thought she was dead for sure, but then he felt hope again when he saw her coming out of Fosso's room to get blood. He called out to her and grabbed her. The wheelchair starts charging at the zombies in its way, knocking them all far away. It keeps getting closer to her while taking out the zombies until it reaches her. As soon as she sees it, she starts crying and begs it to help her get out of there. She immediately starts running because a huge zombie is chasing her. Of course, Sang freaks out and breaks the door down. He rushes inside, grabs a fire extinguisher and sprays it right in the zombie's eyes. She takes advantage of the moment, escapes and hides somewhere, crying until the zombie hears her. It starts chasing her again, but before it can attack, Sang hits it, knocks it down and stomps on its head with the fire extinguisher. The crazy guy just keeps hitting and hitting, man. He's totally lost control of his body. He's just hitting and hitting, but now Rin shows up and calms him down. So Rai's thinking that at this time the special forces have already reached Fosso and his wife and they're moving Fosso and his wife out, but Fosso refuses to leave without Rin and asks the commander to find her first. The commander's annoyed but has no choice but to agree. Meanwhile, Rin, Singh and Buddy were the only ones left outside heading to the special forces. The shock comes when Singh steps out of the room. They think he's a zombie. They shot at him and he fell down. Watering collapsed on him, kept crying and tried to help him up. But the troops came, grabbed her and dragged her away so they could get out of there. Then Sang showed up and kept yelling at him until, thank God, he woke up and got up with difficulty. By the way, he was a bit better since the bullet hit his shoulder. Anyway, once he got up, he started hitting the zombies. Not only that, he then attacked the special forces because they had shot him. After that, he grabbed their commander, started choking him, but the commander broke free, pinned him against the wall, raised his gun and tried to kill him. But Sang pushed him away. The leader stood up again and attacked him once more, and a fight broke out between them. They kept hitting each other for a while until the leader grabbed Singh and choked him so hard he almost died in his hands. But at the last second, a zombie showed up and attacked the leader, forcing him to let go of Singh. Singh took the chance and started attacking him again. They kept trading punches until finally Singh landed a really strong elbow to the leader's head, knocking him down and beating him up. Both of them were so exhausted they collapsed on the ground. But the leader's luck was pretty bad because a zombie took advantage of the moment and came to attack him. Then Rimpa showed up and grabbed him. Sanj checked the room and then started treating his wounds. She managed to stop the bleeding, thank God. After a while, Sanj woke up and went back to her chain, putting the ring back on her finger like before. He told her, when we get out of here, we'll go to the village like you wanted and we'll have a great time there. She got really happy and hugged him. Meanwhile, Batty went to check outside the door to see what was going on and was shocked to find the commander had turned into a zombie, eating all the bodies outside. He quickly went back in and closed the door. Batty told Sanj, so Sanj came up with a plan, opened the door for the commander, and then it all began. He lures him in until they get inside the room, then sets it on fire. Because of all that fire, the sprinkler system kicks in automatically, and water starts pouring from the ceiling everywhere. The thing is, when this water touches a zombie's body, they tense up hard and literally start looking almost like fish. But that's not really the point. Anyway, right now, Singh, Rin, and Buddy keep moving like that until they run into Fosso, who's standing there with his wife. Faso is right next to his wife and she's starting to turn into a zombie because she got infected. Oh, and don't forget, my friend, that he ate her fish liver, which is supposed to be like her species or something. His factory, unfortunately, is where people turn into zombies. Anyway, they attack him, but he refuses to leave her. He hugs her and dies without realizing that the zombies are already coming. They attacked him and ate him. Of course, when Singh saw this, he grabbed his wife and buddy and ran away quickly, but the zombies started chasing them. So Singh took them and went up to the roof, but the zombies kept following. Then Singh took a different route, distracted the zombies by heading toward them, and told Buddy and Rin to get up to the roof fast. When they got to the roof, they found the special forces there. The soldier checked them and confirmed they weren't infected. Then he said, "Come on, hurry up and get on." The plane was about to take off, but she kept asking him to wait because her husband was still inside. She kept trying to stall with Batty until he finally agreed and gave her just 5 minutes before they move. She was super happy and waited a bit. But right now Singh was trapped, my friend, inside a car, and zombies were literally surrounding it from all sides. Then suddenly the zombies broke into the car and boom, the car exploded on its own. Somehow, all the zombies died and Singh didn't. He got up and started running fast. The problem was, the plane had already started moving because only 3 minutes were left before the whole hospital blew up. She kept crying, begging them to wait for Singh, who had actually just reached the roof. But he'd reached his limit. So now he starts looking at Rin while crying, saying goodbye with his eyes totally broken and unable to go on. The second girl was also devastated from crying. Unfortunately, my friend, the plane takes off with them, leaving Sang alone in the hospital to fight off the zombies. After a while, sadly, the bomb explodes and the whole hospital collapses with all the zombies inside. Sang and Fran keep crying along with Buddy. But unfortunately, what happened after that? After all that sadness, Rem shows up and goes to the village she wanted to visit with Sang. She's really, really sad and feeling lost.